So this is one of the super core concepts that every business owner needs to understand. And we'll talk about it obviously in the context of growing your academy, your club, your basketball or sports training business. And it's called LTV, lifetime value. Okay. Pretty simple concept, honestly, but there are a lot of different ways that we can break this down and make sure that it's maximized. This really just comes down to how much money the average customer will pay you over the course of their life or their customer life, so to speak, or real life, I guess. Now, there are two ways to increase this. Either they stay longer or they pay you more per unit of time. So every month, year, whatever you want to break this down into. We're going to go through both of these and talk about some techniques to reduce churn, make sure each one stays longer, and then also to make sure that you can improve your offer so that each client will pay you more per unit of time. So first off, staying longer. We talk a lot about marketing based on results, right? So athletes will usually come in for the training for how they can improve their shooting or their athleticism or their play in game or their confidence. But typically, what I've noticed and what we've noticed at all of our academies is that clients will stay for the family, the environment, the feel, how they feel when they leave the gym, how they feel when they walk in the gym. Obviously, they need to see results. That speaks for itself. But you'd be surprised at how many athletes' main factor for whether they stay or leave your business is how they feel and what the environment and the culture is like. Okay. So we're going to dive deeper into this in another video that you may have watched or not already. But main guidelines here, you want to enforce culture heavily. So you want to make sure everyone feels incredible when they walk in the gym. Everyone feels like a family. They're saying what's up to each other. It's encouraging. People are becoming friends easier. They're kind of clicking easier from a social standpoint. You want to build a good atmosphere. So when they're on the court, this could look at a bunch of different ways, but we usually try to make this a high energy, fun atmosphere. You got some music playing, you got players competing, laughing, but also going hard. And you want people to walk in the gym and be like, wow, I didn't expect this. You want to encourage off-court interactions, showing love, right? So obviously this is coach to athlete, but this is also athlete to athlete, parent to parent, parent to athlete. You want to make sure that you're getting as many touches with each other. In other words, fist bumps, dapping each other up, putting your arm around each other. You want to make sure that you're getting a ton of love being shown. You want to make sure that when people walk back in the gym after being gone for a week, that they're talking, they're asking people how it went, right? When it comes to social media, making sure that the players who are going hard, they're doing their thing, they're seeing results, they're feeling rewarded on social media for this. And then, of course, you want to build in-person connection with every single one of your athletes and build a true, genuine relationship. And if you're not doing this, then your coaches need to be doing this, because if they don't feel a true connection, chances are they will churn pretty quickly. Number two is the 90-day experience. Okay, most customers will drop off within the first 90 days. And if you have done a good job with number one and really built a strong culture and an environment and feel, if you can get athletes to 90 days to truly buy into this and to become almost addicted to it, they're rarely going to leave, right? Because now they're in, they feel like they're a part of it. And again, if you've built that community and the environment, they're not going to leave, or they may, but it's rare. And it's usually for a good reason. Now, what needs to be included in this 90-day experience? Usually some gifts, right? So maybe this is like a training program. Maybe this is some merchandise, a welcome note, whatever you want to do. We have a bunch of different ways that we will approach this. But usually investing $8 in a shirt is a pretty good choice to make sure that they feel welcome when they first come in. You also want to give them personalized attention and development, right? So make sure that they, in their first few workouts, are getting a little bit more coaching. That they come in and you're asking questions about what they need to develop on. You're asking their parents questions on what they need to develop on. You're having meetings and getting feedback from them and giving feedback to them to make sure that this line of communication is very strong in the first 90 days. Check-ins, right? Every 30 days, we have in these first 90 days an automation that goes out to all parents saying, hey, how have things been going? Would you like to sit down and talk about, how we can improve your athlete's development even more, and really making sure that they feel taken care of in terms of these check-ins. And then also just a welcoming feel from the community. When a new athlete comes in, You want people to welcome them with open arms. You want every athlete in the gym to go up and say what's up to them and learn their name and ask them a question. Maybe when an athlete initially comes in, you bring everyone up, you welcome them into the community, but you want them to feel like, wow, I just became a part of something special. And that's going to help get them to that 90 days, which if you can get them past that threshold and build out what we just talked about with number one, building the feel, they're going to stay for a long period of time. 3, some techniques here to make sure that you are retaining customers. Number 1, do everything on a membership basis. Don't just do drop-ins. This is step 1. Athletes are much more likely to stay when they're on a membership basis. Number 2, long-term commitments. Now, this isn't possible in every market, but at about half of our academies, we have 6-month commitment requirements. Now, they can pause this, but they have to sign up for 6 months because that's what's going to get them results. If they come in for 1 month and then they leave, it's a waste of both people's time. Now, of course, they can cancel after the 6 months, and maybe this is 3 months for you. Get them to the 90-day experience and see if they want to leave or not. But longer term commitments can make sure that they push through maybe an initial sticky period where they're like, maybe this is becoming too much of a drive because it's 30 minutes before they really get addicted to your culture. You can also allow pausing memberships, right? So if somebody's looking to cancel, you could say, hey, why is it? Oh, well, he has middle school season. Okay, let's just pause it and then we can resume it, after the season. Then they feel, more readily able to go back, and it's a pretty seamless way to keep them in the system without canceling their membership, even if it's just kind of like a connotation behind canceling versus pausing. Also working with cancellation objections, right? So knowing how to deal with, hey, it's too far, it's too expensive. We have another coach that he's working with. All of these objections we should have answers to and find creative ways to potentially retain the clients through these. And again, that's something that we'll talk about in other videos. You also want to have some sort of progression model. So maybe they work their way up from one level to another. This can be, uh, for example, workout class model where I know like Solid Core and Core Power and all these uh, businesses that have grown really large, they reward people for coming in for 25 sessions and then 50 and 75. And they, again, promote that on their social media or within the community. And you feel like you're progressing. Same thing basketball wise here. You could reward people for coming for a certain amount of sessions, for going from like an intermediate to an advanced class. There are a bunch of different ways to do this, but think about how you can progress your clients through this model. And then lastly, track your churn, right? Track how many athletes drop off each month and then the reasons why they drop off. And then you can go back and look each month, each quarter, each year and say, okay, what are the most common reasons that athletes have dropped off? Which is why I would strongly advise to do an exit interview with each one, even if it's just a form that they fill out when they're done. Be like, hey, look, can you please fill this out? I know, you guys are canceling, but we just want to improve the business, this, that, and the third. And as a result, that way you can see and understand and put data together on what you need to improve to decrease the churn. Next, how can we get clients paying more? Number 1, this comes down to offering a value boosted product, okay? So we want to find cost-effective ways to add to the offer to then justify a higher price. So film work, strength and conditioning, mindset work, adding in, some merchandise each month. It's actually a lot cheaper than they're technically paying for it, right? There are a bunch of different ways to add small pieces of value to it, and that's something that we talk about in another video as well. But if you can identify these ways and really include them and promote them the right way, then it can decommoditize your product, okay? And that's kind of a whole concept in itself where most training academies will kind of create the same product and then just have a race to the bottom in terms of price. Whereas what we look to do is provide a different product based on what they get and ensure that it's not just another training experience, but something that's different. And how yours may look maybe different than ours, but we want to make sure that our product is in a category of one and not just clumped in with all the different trainers. It's tough to do that. It's not fully realistic to make it its brand new own thing, but it's definitely a good mindset to have to orient yourself towards making it a unique experience and positioning it kind of in its own lane. then we want to hold everyone to high standards, right? If we're going to be offering a higher priced product, we need to make sure that our coaches are locked in. We need to make sure that they are holding up the standards that we would hold up. And when you're offering a more luxury product, there's no room to slack off. There's no room to bullshit a little bit. You got to make sure that you're holding yourself and your staff to high standards. Then we got upsells. Okay, this is a great one, right? If your base membership is $300 and you don't have any room to increase that, these are ways that you can increase your customers' lifetime value. Even if it's once a year, once a quarter, they're paying you a little bit more, right? So maybe this is club basketball, so they can train with you, but they can also play for your club team. You have camps and clinics. So if you have clients who are paying that price, but then you also give them a little discount on your camps and they come to your camps all summer, well, now you're increasing their LTV. Experiences, same thing. Maybe you take athletes to another country to do an experience. You're in a little bit wealthier of an area where parents want to send their athletes to, essentially experience a new culture. So you bring them somewhere else, whether that's in your country, outside, whatever. This could also be just like, going to a camp altogether, right? And then you kind of charge a little bit more, charge a premium for organizing all of it. You could have customized plans, so you really work with them one-on-one to put together a customized plan for them. This could also be value boosting your product, but this could also be an upsell. Maybe you offer strength and conditioning on top of what you do. Maybe you also bundle certain things with private or semi-private sessions. Maybe you offer recruitment help. Maybe you offer merchandise packages, of course, like you're selling merch, to make sure that each one is paying a little bit more than they usually would. And again, don't see this as like trying to scrape or squeeze as much money out of each person as you can. It is that, but you're also looking to offer more value to them, which they're paying a fair price for, right? It's not you finessing them. It's not you taking advantage of them. It's you maximizing the amount of value that they would probably spend other places to make sure that you can maximize how much money you make from each loyal client. And then measure it, okay? And this goes for everything. You want to track your customer value, right? How much are they paying you monthly? How much is each client paying you yearly? And then what's your lifetime value, right? This will allow you to identify problems, maybe the seams, maybe the cracks in your business model that usually ends up in athletes dropping off or maybe not paying as much, and then finding opportunities to build. So I would strongly encourage you to track your churn, strongly encourage you to track the average amount that each athlete is paying. If you use Stripe or another payment platform, but we use Stripe, this is very readily available on the financial dashboard for you to see, and will help you a ton in terms of navigating your decisions, improving your business, and cleaning up to make sure that you can make the most out of each customer.